Welcome to Urban Stealth. Welcome to Urban Stealth. Welcome to Urban Sasquatch Research. Courtesy of Dread Captures. New video. Urban Stealth Sasquatch Research Organization.
The beat hit something. Two glowing eyes staring back from the tree line. At first he thought it was a deer.
Courtesy of Dread Captures. Big ups to Dread Captures.
The moment he whistled, the shape behind those eyes shifted. Huge, upright, with the
like, share, and subscribe.
shoulders and a head. Some viewers say it's a bear reacting to the light. Others point out the movement. It stands up. It doesn't crouch down.
Dread Captures.
Glowing eyes that
Catch your Bigfoot.
Ground, watching you in silence. Are you standing your ground? Or are you running for your life? Ouija Blazer recently shared a photo of the paranormal subreddit with this interesting accompanying paragraph. I recently took a trip up to Mount Shasta, soaking in the surreal landscapes and crisp air. As I wandered through the trails, I struck up a conversation with a local tour guide, one of those guys who clearly knows everything about the mountain. Chatting turned into storytelling, and I jokingly asked him, "So, any Bigfoot sightings around here?" To my surprise, he kind of grinned and said, "Actually, yes." He recounted an experience from 5 years ago. He had been taking a friend's photo after a long hike near the summit. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until they looked at the photo later. In the background, barely noticeable at first, was a strange figure, lurking just within the tree line. He showed me the photo, but wouldn't send it to me, so I just took a photo of the photo. I zoomed it in with only the creature visible in the shot. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "I believe in Bigfoot," which was kind of random, but I believed him. He wasn't trying to sell a story. He was calm. He told me he snowboards a lot in the Mount Shasta backcountry, and more than once he's had the eerie sensation of being watched. Or in his peripheral vision, a pair of eyes peeking through the darkness. But every time he turned to look, they vanished.
It's kind of weird, that one.
You ever see something so out of place it just freezes you? Well, that's what happened to a couple hiking on Bald Mountain. They were taking photos near a steep riverbed when the woman spotted movement across the slope. At first she thought it was another hiker, but then she realized there were no trails there. The figure was pitch black, tall, walking on two legs, and carrying nothing. No backpack, no gear. They stood there for what seemed like forever, but it was probably only 10 minutes, and watched it cross the jagged terrain. And it was walking with this unnatural ease, never stumbling, never breaking pace, before it finally vanished into the trees. They were excited to check their camera later, and when they zoomed in, the footage was blurry, but, in their opinion, clear enough to confirm one thing. Whatever that was, it wasn't human. The couple went so far as to even share GPS coordinates and the exact spot the creature moved.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Locals and a tour guide confirmed that there's no path there. There's no easy way across that slope. And that leaves everyone wondering, so how did it move like that? And what the heck was it doing there? But what are we doing, folks? If you were out there and you saw something like that moving through the wilderness, what are you doing? Are you filming? Are you getting out of there? I'd love to know. In 2009, a shaky little clip from the Tatra Mountains went viral. And still, people can't agree what's in it. The video was filmed along the Poland-Slovakia border. The person behind the camera seemed nervous, maybe even scared. And yeah, I would agree with that because the way the camera jerks and shakes while he's filming. Some claim the shaking was fake. Someone trying too hard to sell a hoax. That could be. But then again, cameras back then didn't have stabilization, and this kind of motion could have been just pure adrenaline, fear, especially if they really saw something they couldn't explain. No one's ever stepped forward as the filmer. The spot is obviously remote, no tours, no trails. So if it
Hold on, y'all, let me see.
And there aren't wild apes in that part of Europe, then what was it? Maybe a European cousin of Bigfoot? The kind locals whisper about in old mountain folklore? Now, what are we thinking? Would you call this a hoax, or could it be proof that something else walks those mountains? A self-described Bigfoot reacher once said he would capture something that would blow your mind, but even he wasn't sure what he saw. The researcher was deep in the woods filming one of his field studies when something darted between the trees.
Dog. Yep. Yeah, y'all, that's true right there. Move when his back turned.
A dark, human-like shape weaving through the brush. When interviewed by the news, he later admitted that it didn't look big enough to be a full-grown Sasquatch, so he thought maybe something younger. Someone brought up the idea of it being a prank, but he said that no one should have even known he was there, and that would have been a heck of a coincidence. Regardless, you can tell that moment shook him.
Really?
And that's the tough part. If you had spent years searching for Bigfoot and finally caught a glimpse, would you trust your eyes? Or would you question everything? This next one might be the most famous night vision clip ever captured in North Carolina.
I think I'm in it on this one, yo.
The squeaky footage. In 2009, a Bigfoot hunter named Michael Green set up a thermal camera in a patch of woods known for sightings. To lure something in, he smeared peanut butter on a stump and left a few squeaky toys nearby. Then he left and waited. That night, the camera caught something. A massive heat signature, low and slow. It swayed side to side, peering around the stump before vanishing back into the trees. I won't play it all, but the clip is about 3 minutes long. And I don't know about you, but whatever this thing is on this video, it feels like it knows that it's being watched. You can almost see the apprehension in its steps. Experts studied the footage frame by frame. The body shape matched a human, just larger, thicker, taller. The crazy part is the next morning, the peanut butter and toys were gone, dragged deeper into the forest. Locals around the area that have seen the video now call that figure Squeaky, and to this day it's one of the most debated clips ever captured. And if that was a person, why are you going to go up to a baited camera in the middle of nowhere? You know that there's something like, I feel like that would attract bears. I'm getting the heck away from that. On the flip side, some of the haters are saying that Bigfoot is way too intelligent to walk into a trap like that. I don't know. A bunch of peanut butter in the middle of the woods probably smells pretty good to a Bigfoot.
Well, one more. Look how fast that thing moving.
A driver deep in California's Sierra Nevada mountains captured something that still gives people chills.
Got it.
He was cruising down a quiet mountain road when movement caught his eye. Something big, moving between the trees. He grabbed his phone and hit record just as a tall, broad figure stepped into view.
That's a dead ringer,
covered in dark brown fur and walking upright. The thing only appeared for a few seconds before slipping back into the forest.
Moving so fast.
But what made the footage unsettling wasn't just the sighting. It was the audio. In the background, you can hear deep, echoing calls that seem to bounce all through the forest. Some viewers swear they sound like howls. Others think it's actually speech. This part of the Sierra Nevada has a long list of strange sightings and missing hikers. When the driver shared the clip online, locals pointed out that no bears in that area move like that.
They ain't moving so fast.
Or stand that tall. Skeptics wrote it off as just someone in a suit. Of course, they didn't know who, but someone. Anyhow, what say you guys? I'd love to know where you land on this
one. All right, y'all.
In a remote Tibetan village near the Chinese border, locals say they stumbled upon a body unlike anything they'd ever seen. It looked human, but not quite. Tangled hair, grayish skin, massive hands and feet. Its torso was shaped like a gorilla's, but its face looked eerily human. Someone filmed the scene before authorities stepped in. In minutes, the clip went viral online, with some claiming it was the legendary Yeti finally found. But others said it looked staged, pointing out how the body barely moved and how cleanly the camera framed it, as if it were a prop. Even now, no one knows where the footage came from. Believers say it was filmed after
that's fake, y'all.
the creature's resting place. Others think it was just made up to stir up the locals.
All right, y'all.
The proportions, though, do seem kind of hard to fake. So, is this real or just another viral setup designed to keep the myth alive?
Urban.
2 hikers trekking the Himalayas filmed what
Stealth
they believed is a
Sasquatch Research
The pair were crossing a rocky road.
Organization.
One of them noticed movement in the distance. A large, dark figure walking upright across a snow-covered slope. They zoomed in, expecting to see another climber, but the trail ended far below.
Kind of looking weird, y'all.
The film moved slowly but powerfully.
Thanks for watching.
Striding across the terrain like it's nothing. The figure